Well, hello, my paranormal peeps, and welcome back to another Deep Woods Paranormal podcast. My name is Matt Harvey. I am the founder and lead investigator with Deep Woods Paranormal. My wife and I, along with others, investigate everything paranormal in nature. Every week, we will discuss everything from creepy haunted locations to ghosts to Bigfoot, UFOs, Dogman, and other cryptid creatures, and explore all things paranormal in nature. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm so sorry I haven't meant to be ghosting you, but I've been busy at work and doing other things. Amanda and I've had several projects that we've been working on. Unfortunately, they're not paranormal in nature. But anyways, I've got a lot of stories to share with you guys. I got a lot of crazy things that have happened to me recently. It's like, okay, you're not coming to us. The paranormal's like, oh, you're not coming to us. We're coming to you. Anyways, let's ask Mr. Alien Head here. What should we start with? Should we start with UFOs? What are you gonna say, buddy? It says for sure. It says for sure on there. You can't see it, but he answered. All right, so let's get into the paranormal activity I've experienced lately. UFOs, a shadow man, or maybe a Bigfoot, or maybe something else. Who knows? The doll in the office moving. Oh my gosh. My angel in my bathroom, the demon that popped out of the tracks at work. Don't tell anybody that. Uh, and then we also did the Cat Cafe old jail investigation, and that was a lot of fun. So let's get into this. Okay, so let's start with the UFOs. So I've seen a lot of strange things lately, especially at work. We were outside one day. This has got to be about 3 weeks ago. Bear with me. I've got cats roaming in and out here, and they're active at night. So if you hear a meow, that's him. That's Mr. Binks. He's paranormal in himself. I'm not even sure he's a cat. So getting back to UFOs, we were standing outside, and there was a commercial airline flying by. It was just flying overhead, and we looked up. It's probably coming out of Houston. And we look up, and we're like, what the heck? What is that thing following it? Now, this happened to Amanda, too. She actually documented it. I tried to I pulled out my phone. I literally faced it up there, and this thing would not focus either on the jetliner or the strange saucer-like thing that was following behind it and the jet stream. I mean, this thing was literally, for me, I don't know how high up it was at this point in time, but it was pretty high. We could clearly see the plane, and this silvery disc-like thing was following it, and it was basically right behind it. I mean, literally like right behind it. And as soon as basically it realized that we were watching it, it stops and literally does the spin thing. It goes straight out and then circles around and comes back in like a loop. And then it just sat there and we could see it. And I could not get it on record. I could not record it with my phone. I don't know what was going on. I think someone else tried to do it too, and they just would not focus. It was the strangest thing. And so when I finally just cropped back out and pulled the picture back out, you could see the sky, but you couldn't see it. So we waited a little bit. And it was almost dark. It was probably about 6:30, 7 o'clock at that point in time. So it was still pretty bright out. It wasn't daytime and nighttime. It was just starting to get dark. And so we walked back in, and I knew exactly where I'd seen it. I marked it I found something in the horizon, in the horizon, and I said, okay, that tree, I'm like, go straight up, and that's where it was. So we went out a little later, and it was just starting to get dark, and this thing, you could barely see it. It looked kind of more whitish at this point in time. It was still silver, but it had like a white reflective surface, if you will, a shiny surface still. And so I'm sitting there looking at this thing, and as it got darker, it got brighter and brighter and brighter. It was almost white, like a star. So I actually got my phone back out, tried to do it again, and this time actually was able to record it. And I sat there and watched it, and it just kind of, the other stars were kind of twinkling, if you will. They were flashing. You could see them flash a little bit and blink in and out, blink in and out. This thing wasn't doing that. It was solid the whole time. And I'm like, that's weird. And so we sat there and watched it. And after about 5 or 10 minutes, this thing just started pulling away up into the atmosphere, away, 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 just disappeared. And so that's how I know it wasn't a star. But that was just really strange. And we're sitting there going, okay, what in the world? Texas is known for UFOs. There's a lot of strange things that have happened in Texas. There's been downed UFOs and stuff like that, and other things that have happened. And so I've heard all these stories. I've heard a lot of stories about what's been going on and stuff like that. Sorry, that's Mr. Binks being crazy again. So, yeah, I mean, that was just this. Sorry, that's Mr. Binks. He's wanting my attention at this point in time, and I'm not paying attention to him, so he's screaming. I don't know what happened to him. He's a paranormal story himself. Let me quickly tell you the story. Okay, so we had cats over at our depot where we worked, and essentially, they would come around. We give them some love and some attention, and eventually they started to they were feral, and eventually they started to kind of like the attention. So we were able to pet them and stuff like that. And so one night I left my door open while I was unloading my car, the van for work, putting the stuff back in my car. And essentially I left the door open. I went around the other side to do some things, came back around and put my stuff in and whatever else. Drove home and I was like, okay, great night. I'm tired. I went to pull my stuff out of my car because I needed to clean some stuff and whatever else. Long story short, set my stuff down in the garage, turn around, and I hear meow, 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 just like what you just heard. And I want, good job, buddy. Cue the cat. So, anyways, I'm like, what the heck? And I thought I named the cat at work. If you guys have seen some other videos, it's called. I went, dude, I'm talking. His name was Felix. So I thought it was Felix, and I said, "Hey, come here, come here." And he came over to me, and I put down some food and water because I had done that previously. Whoop, sorry, didn't mean to bump you guys. And he came over and immediately started eating and drinking, and I gave him some loving. I closed the garage door. I'm like, okay, I guess you're staying with me now. I had threatened to take him home forever. And so essentially, when I picked him up, I was able to pick him up. Now, Felix at work, he lets me love him and stuff like that. I can rub his head and scratch him and give him attention. But pick him up, oh, no, 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 no. You don't get to pick him up. This guy just let me pick him up and I'm cradling him. I'm going, wait a minute. This isn't Felix. And I don't know. While I was taking my stuff out, I walked inside, came back out, and I left the door open. So I don't know if he jumped in to my car sometime and crawled up under a seat or what he did, or if he was a miracle cat and he rode up where the spare tire is under my truck because it was loose. It was not all the way on. He's talking like crazy. Thanks. So, anyways, he knows I'm talking about him. He basically has become our cat now. Now we got all three of them. We got Mary, Moo, and him. So I'm pretty sure he was one of Mr. Felix's kittens. He's about a year. He's a little over a year old now. He's about almost two, probably. But we've had him for about 7 or 8 months, and he's done really well. And that's Mr. Chance, of course, another rescue, another paranormal story. We found him up by Joe's when we were doing Bigfoot research. So, anyways, I've got a lot more stuff to talk about. If you guys want to hear me talk about the dogs, I'll comment down below and the cats, and we'll talk about them on another podcast. But the Shadow Man, oh my gosh, that was creepy. So last night I was up and basically helping a couple crews get their trains, and we had some issues with some tracks and chance. Holy moly. Sorry, guys. We got a lot of attention going on here. So they were out there doing their thing, and it's raining. It rained off and on, off and on. And then it essentially started to pour for a second or two. And then essentially it went to real heavy rain and then it stopped. Right as it stopped, I thought one of the crews that was helping my crews work on some of the projects out there had left, and I was pretty sure they got in their trucks and they left. And so all of a sudden, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a ghost, if it was a Bigfoot, a dog man. I don't know what it was, but a very thick, dark black silhouette went across my back window of the van. And I drive a minivan for work and for to drop crews off and go across the back of the window and I had my door open. And as soon as I turned and looked, I caught what looked like a shadow, a black silhouette, a shadow person, a typical shadow person. Now, I didn't see any hair or anything like that. So I can't tell you it was a Bigfoot or a dog man or whatever. I don't know what it was. Um, but I basically wrapped up with the cruise a couple hours later, and I went through and I was starting to drive home. And I just turned on the radio. I didn't have it up real loud. I had the CB on in the car, so I could listen, make sure the crews didn't say, "Hey, come back. We need your help still," or "Something's happened. You need to come back and get us," or whatever. So essentially, all of a sudden, I hear a male voice say, "Matt," and I looked to the back seat. I'm like, here we go. It always happens when I'm driving. It always happens when I'm driving. And so essentially, I look back, I'm like, okay, I got to make sure I clear myself when I go to put my stuff in my car tonight. And if you don't know what clearing yourself means, it means if and I know we have a lot of non-believers on this channel too. So guys, again, take this with a grain of salt. This is just my experiences, okay? These are my stories, my experiences. I don't expect anybody to believe until they've had their own experiences with ghosts or whatever paranormal activity. Anyways, so I'm like, okay, so I need to clear myself. And clearing yourself just means that you say out loud when you get back to wherever you're going. You know, I always say when you leave an investigation, get to that first stop sign, first stoplight, whatever. Even if you're going, 100 feet down the road, um, wherever you want to stop, and just say, listen, if there's anything with me, you're not welcome to come home with me. You need to go back to where you came from. And so yeah, that's something I always tell people. I always say do it when you're um just starting out halfway home, and then when you get home, and then when you before you walk in your door, you hit that unlock button. You say, if there's anything with me, you can't go home with me. You need to go back to where you came from. You're not welcome in my house or wherever you're going to be at. Okay. Lots of strange stuff going on tonight. I don't know if you guys heard that. That was not an animal. Not one of the kids. Hello? You guys active tonight? We do have spirits of little kids in the house in this room. I'm not really supposed to go into the house, but they do. Okay. So yeah, basically I had the voice say, Matt. And it was very clear. And I know it wasn't the radio because it talked right over the radio. And I turned around and I thought I saw an apparition in the back seat. Honestly, Dad, I thought I saw a male. And so I did it. I looked up in the rear view mirror. I'm like, what? And I turned around just to make sure that nobody had hopped in with me. I know that nobody hopped in with me, but there was nobody back there. And this used to happen to us all the time. It wasn't just me. I talked to several people that drove in the vans back when we were at the other Home Depot, and they all said the same thing. It wasn't everybody, but it was a few people. Yeah, I've seen that person's in the back seat too. So I'm like, okay, it's not just me losing my marbles. So for you skeptics out there, just again, take this with a grain of salt. It's just my experiences. Okay. So we were talking about dolls here a minute ago. If you haven't seen our dolls, you're welcome to go. Our haunted dolls, you're welcome to go into. There's a few videos with me trying to talk to them through the spirit box, and I had some success. If I keep telling them that we'll give you another opportunity. I'm looking at the haunted dolls. They're off to the left over here. Um, so essentially, we're going to rearrange back here. This back here is going to change. Amanda's desk is going to move. My desk is going to move over a little bit. We're going to rearrange the office so you guys have a much cooler background than you see now. And so you want to continue to constantly stare at my ugly mug for the whole time you're watching this video. So, anyways, yeah. So I'm walking in one night and what is that? Something keeps moving up in this corner over here. It's actually opposite. It's actually here, right by the door. There's a German guy that appears every once in a while. So if you're watching this video, watch back by the door, by especially over there. This is weird because camera's opposite. See, it's hard to point to it. Where the light switch is in the hallway, he'll peer around the corner there sometimes. All right. So yeah, I mean, I walked in. That's where the door is. Or around the corner of the hallway. That's where the garage door is. That's where I come walking in. I can see into the office pretty clearly. I can clearly see the dolls and stuff. So let me just turn the camera so you guys can see the dolls. That's the dolls. If you haven't seen our haunted dolls, bear with me. Our cat food's over there. The cats like to eat up on there. So again, sorry about moving the camera. But one of those dolls physically moved right in front of the cat food. It was sitting in front of it. And as soon as I looked in and I kind of did a double take, that damn doll went right back. And I'm looking at what the hell? Okay. Yeah, it's getting really weird in here right now. One of the dolls, the doll I thought that moved. Ooh, look at the goosebumps. Oh my goodness. One of the dolls that I thought moved is now turned a tiny little bit and her head's actually looking at me. Yeah, I see you, hon. You're making me creeped out tonight, aren't you? You want to make me scared for some reason. I just feel like they're gonna all get up and walk around the room or something. Anyways, so I think it moved again. Oh my goodness. I guess she likes the attention. But yeah, so that doll literally moved like straight back. There was no noise, it just moved straight back. Now I do have a camera up over above Amanda's desk facing down, and I'll have to go back through the video. Oh, it's Binks. Sorry, he's making a lot more noise. Binks. Sorry about that. Anyways, so yeah, that doll, I'm about 99% sure I saw it move. Now, again, I can't prove it to you yet. I will go back through that video and I will look and see if it caught it moving. The camera will probably move as well to a different location when the dolls get moved behind me. I'm thinking about getting a shelf or something for behind me, and then we'll have our logo, which is actually behind my computer right now. We'll have all that over there. We'll make that kind of like a paranormal wall so that you guys can check it out and I can kind of show you guys things from time to time. All right, so let's continue on. So it's been a strange like month and a half. I've noticed like a major uptick in paranormal activity. Everything from the UFOs now to the shadow person, to the doll moving by itself, to the voice in the back of the car. Now, I know a lot of people, I don't know what people's religion is on this channel. You know, we have viewers from all around the world. So everybody has a different take on religion or doesn't believe in religion, or maybe you just believe in energy or whatever. Um, I'm religious. I don't push it on anybody, but so just beings. Oh my gosh, he's not going to stop. Come here, dude. So he's used to me not being here at night. But so I came home one night in the middle of the night and I was kind of getting ready to go to bed and just taking a shower and was about to climb into bed when I looked into the bathroom in our room, and our bathroom door is pretty close straight across from our bed. And I'm looking over there and I see movement. I'm like, what is that? And I just thought it was one of the little kid spirits. And so we, like I said, the little kids that are attached to the dolls, They do roam around the house from time to time. They're good. They've never done anything bad. They don't harm anybody. They don't try and scare anybody. They don't, they know the rules. I have some very specific rules for them to be here. And if they break those rules, they'll be gone. So, and I try and pay attention to them from time to time, and they seem to like it. And I keep everything very positive, no negative things in this house at all. So, anyways, I'm sitting there and I'm seeing movement, and I'm seeing a shape starting to appear, and it looks like a woman, but a very short woman, and it wasn't the Indian woman. It had long flowing hair, and I. If you ever seen the movie Predator, where you can see the outline they can see the outline of the predator when it's cloaked, and you can see like the outline, and it looks like a mirror reflecting back almost at them. That's kind of what I see. It was just not with all those different outlines, just one single outline, if you will. Well, that's what I see. It's a lot of actually recently I've been seeing a lot of full body apparitions. I see something and then I turn and then basically then it just disappears. It's a person. I see a person and then they're gone. And they just appear and disappear right in front of me. So it's not on the side of my eyes. It's not like, okay, you're seeing stuff. I've had my eyes checked. In fact, I'm getting my eyes checked again this Friday just to make sure. But anyways, yeah, I've just seen a lot of crazy things lately. Like I said, there's been a major uptick in activity. Anyways, let me get back to the entity in the bathroom. So I'm sitting there and watching. I'm like, okay, so who are you? And I ask who they are from time to time, especially if I've never seen them. I just thought it was like one of the little kids in there. And as I'm standing there, all of a sudden, from behind the shoulders, out pop these wings. And she's beautiful. This entity was beautiful. Yeah, getting goosebumps again. Probably not supposed to be talking about this, but she's beautiful. And I can see her wings. I can see the feather in her wings. I can see her long flowing white outfit. She looks like she has I don't know what they call them, but it's just like a dress, a white dress that goes down just past her knees. And she's just standing there, and maybe it went past her knees. I couldn't really see much. And I'm sitting there watching her, and I'm like, she's an angel. I'm like, why is there an angel? Beings. I'm talking. Sorry about that, guys. He's gonna scream the whole time I talk because he wants my attention. So I saw an angel, and what happened before that, earlier on in the evening, he's gonna talk every time I talk. He's got something to say. Maybe he wants to do the podcast. You want to do the podcast? Come here, dude. Come do the podcast. Come on. Come out there with it. So, anyways, a couple hours before, I was out helping a crew somewhere. I'm not going to say where because I know we do have people that listen to our podcast or watch our podcast that also work at my work. So I don't want to scare anybody. I'm going to call it a demon, but I don't know 100% sure what it was. So I'm over sitting, waiting for my crew to show up, and so I can pick them up and take them on to the next location. And I'm sitting there looking at these tracks, and all of a sudden, it wasn't dark, it wasn't light. It was probably about 6:30. So there were some long shadows and stuff, but it was still daytime. And I'm watching these tracks, and I see something black, like a blob, like come up out of the tracks. And as it started to blob up, it started to form a figure. And I don't really believe in Slender Man that much, but this thing was tall and lanky, didn't have any face. It was just all black. And it had what looked like really long fingers, but it walked on two legs like a human. And it literally walked from the tracks about 5 or 6 steps, stepped behind something, and then just disappeared from what I could see. And I'm sitting there watching this thing. I'm going, what is that? By the time I got my camera up, it had hidden behind the box. And I walked over there. I got out of the van, walked over there with my camera, and there was nothing there. So I don't know what that was. I really don't. I don't know what happened. I don't know what it was. I can't tell you what it was or wasn't, but I know I saw something. So I'm not sure what that was. In my opinion, it felt the way it made me feel was at first I was a little scared, to be honest with you. And I'm not really scared of the paranormal. I'm not afraid of demons or anything like that. I've dealt with them so long that at this point in time, they more or less irritate me than anything else. But whatever that was strange. Here he comes. That's Mr. Banks right there, the one screaming his little head off. So yeah, that was really, really strange. I'm not sure exactly what that was. Come here, dude. Where are you at? Come here. Okay, stop screaming, please. I think he might be hungry. I might need to feed him. So yeah, I'm not sure what that was. I'm not going to call it a Slender Man, but it was strange. Whatever it was, it might be what people were seeing. It projected itself that way. And lastly, I want to talk about the Cat Cafe. Uh, if you guys listened to the podcast from last week, I apologize. I put that microphone a little too low, I think, on my shirt. Normally, when I have that microphone on, you can hear me. You can't hear the car at all. I was listening back. I'm like, oh, that was my third take on that. Well, every time I tried to get that to work, the microphone to work, it kept turning off. It was just one thing after another. I finally pulled over and had to try to readjust it after I'd done it twice. I'd already pulled over twice and got it going. And I reviewed the audio. It sounded really good. And then, of course, something was like, nope, you're not going to do a podcast here. You're not going to do a podcast. Something kept messing with it. And my phone kept turning off. It was the weirdest thing. But I needed to get a podcast done. And I thought it would be interesting to kind of talk to you guys about what I was thinking, what I was feeling when I was on my way to go to the old Cat Cafe, the old jail. Not Cat Cafe is not old; it's brand new, and it's an amazing place, guys. If you get the chance to go to Huntsville, or if you live in Huntsville and you get to go check out the old jail there, you can roam around the bottom floor, but don't ask Elizabeth or any of her employees to be able to go up to the second floor where the jail is. She will not let you. I'll give you that heads up right here. We're the only ones really allowed to go up there from time to time. So, and we do it respectfully. We go up there and we had a good night. We went up there with Elizabeth, and she let us go up there and check some things out. And she seems to be a trigger. She's very connected to the spirits up there. And so anytime we get to have her come with us, she is able to get a lot more responses than when just Amanda and I or whoever have gone up there. And so we were walking around, we were actually getting names again. And when we first started, something kept saying, stop, stop, stop. And I'm like, okay, I'm not doing anything. And this is through the spirit box. And I know a lot of people don't like the spirit box, but I mean, some of the things that have come through the spirit box, I just have no answer for. And you can't tell me that this came through the radio or it was a radio channel or whatever. Um, Especially when my friend Joe came through it clearly, and he talked for what, close to 3 or 4 minutes nonstop. And it clearly was his voice, and the things that he said were very personal to me. And so I know this dumb thing works. I was not a fan of these dumb boxes, but this one seems to be working, whether it's the box itself or it's just the fact that something knows knows how to use the piece of equipment to actually communicate with us. The spirits at the jail seem to really like this the ghost box, because I can't seem to get any EVPs there anymore. They always want us to use the spirit box. They do light up the K2s. And we also had something really amazing happen. I don't know if you guys have ever seen me use that little spear, that little EMF spear, where basically the little lightning bolts inside go around in a circle and there's a spear in the middle and they shoot out around every which way. And so let me see if I can find that. Hold on a second, guys. Let me see. I still have my gear from that investigation probably in here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's just go. There we go. All right. So this has happened the last couple times. Let me turn this on. If you're not watching the video podcast, let me turn this on. You can come over here and watch the video podcast. All right. So you see how it's kind of down by my finger right now? If you're watching the podcast, you can see that. This is exactly what happened at the jail, and I couldn't figure out why it kept doing that. Now, let me move my hand to the bottom. Let me let go of this, okay? Watch this. It's not quite doing it, but let me turn this light off real quick. Okay, now you can see it. Why is it doing that now? I think the battery's dead. Let me turn this off and move my hand away from there. There we go. Okay, so you can see it's starting at the top, and for some reason now it's just stuck on the bottom. Maybe somebody's still touching it. But you can touch anywhere. See how it follows my finger? If I move my finger around, it'll move anywhere. And the whole theory that I have behind this, see now it's doing it. I think something's still playing with it. Maybe one of the kids is playing with it. But if you hold your finger up here, it will follow your finger anywhere you go. And so at the jail, if wow, something's really playing with that. I think this thing's almost dead, unfortunately. I think the battery's running low. This is not even shooting out a bolt. But at the jail, this was something was actually I had my finger on this side, and something was actually tracing over here in one of the cells. It was, let me turn this back on. It was amazing. It was just totally, sorry, you need to bump you guys again. It was totally playing with that toy. And it was amazing that it could actually do that. I didn't think they could do that, but it physically was able to pull that. And I'm for sure it was pulling energy out of it and stuff like that. So, another cool toy that we've been playing with to try and get spirits to communicate with us or do some kind of something or other to get our attention and let us know that they're there. So we even left it, we even let it sit, and basically that was happening. It was just like over to one side. It just kept going to one side, kind of like my finger is now. It kept coming to one side, just like it is now. It kept doing this, but nobody was touching it. So, excuse me. But yeah, that was just really cool. And Mr. Binks, he's very playful. He's a very young cat. So yeah, we had an amazing time, and we were able to get some more answers. Little by little, we're getting more and more answers at the Cat Cafe. Who's there? What are why are they still there? What do they like? We've used a whole lot of trigger objects, from candy to alcohol to cigarettes to tobacco, to coffee. They love the coffee. Elizabeth brings them up coffee every morning, and stuff like that. But again, I apologize for the audio quality on that podcast. I thought it would be better. I thought I could get away with one pretty much, and do a cool podcast on my way there. I've done them multiple times from the car where I was traveling, and the video is okay, but the audio normally is really good with that little mic I have going into my phone. But for some reason, it just something wasn't working. So again, I apologize to you guys for that. For my Bigfooters, if you're still here with me, I know everybody really loves Bigfoot on this channel, and that's basically what everybody wants to see and hear about. We've got a lot of content. We've got a lot of investigations. I keep saying, we've got over 300 hours of video. I'm gonna tear that up. Once I get a chance to, I will sit down and break down, start putting those shorts out for you guys, because we've had a lot of cool, crazy experiences. Some funny, some scary, some like, oh my gosh, what was that? Type experiences on investigations. We wrapped up 6 investigations over last year, and these are locations, not investigations in total, but locations where we've shot at these locations for multiple days. We've stayed weekends at these locations, and stuff like that. So we will be getting into the Bigfooting here soon. I've been trying to get stuff done between my work and my personal life and other things that we were working on. Amanda and I were working on possibly making a change in our lives, moving somewhere in town. We weren't leaving. We were just going to move somewhere else in town. But unfortunately, that seems to have changed. He seems to be happy with that. So we're gonna basically fix the office. It's gonna change. There's gonna be a lot of changes in the office. You'll see the background will be much different, and we're gonna get better organized in here. And so you guys will have a cool background to watch us do our podcast at. I'm trying to work with Amanda on coming back on here and doing her ghost stories with Amanda, and have her interview people as well. She's much better at interviewing people than I am. So, anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for listening. If you'll do me a favor, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Let me just share my screen with you guys. Our YouTube page, and of course, our Rumble page is growing like crazy. But our YouTube page, we've hit 1.4 thousand people, and I know that's not a lot for our YouTube page, but we have a hard time getting new subscribers for some reason. You can see all the videos that have hit, 15, 20,000 views on here. All really cool paranormal stuff, but for some reason they just don't get 100,000 views, 200,000 views, a million views for some reason. If you have not visited our YouTube page or even a Rumble page, the links will be down below in the description. You guys can click on there and come on over here, and you can watch the video podcast. You can also listen to the audio podcast here, or wherever you get your podcast from. I think we're on 60 plus platforms, and I'm very proud to announce that we've been getting lots and lots and lots of awards for our podcast lately. So I'm super excited about that. So again, that all comes back to all of you. Again, we don't just have a listener base here in the US. We have a listener base across the whole world. And that is just amazing. I'll tell you, when I first started doing these podcasts, I never thought that we would get 5 people listening to it, let alone, thousands or hundreds of thousands of people taking the time to sit down and listen to us. So again, thank you guys so much. I think we're closing in on 200 podcasts. And right now, I'll just tell you, I'm so busy with work and other things. I just have not had time to do more than one a week, or if I'm lucky to get one a week done. I try and release these podcasts every Friday. And if you're watching the YouTube podcast, the video podcast usually comes out on Saturday or Sunday or even the following week. I'm going to try again to get some more investigation videos in here, and we're going to reboot the Exploring the Unknown with Matt and Amanda. I want to make a lot of changes to it. I just didn't like the way it was going. So, anyways, let me stop sharing my screen. And again, thank you guys. I can't even thank you guys enough. Thank you guys for being with us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the subscribers. Thank you guys for sharing us on social media like you do. And we will catch you guys on the next one. You guys stay haunted.